We left the European Union, 4 years ago now. Obviously, I was a Brexit Party MEP. So I'm going to be asking the first question. I'm going to be asking my next guest. He's business and finance expert, Dr. Roger Gewolb. Has the government delivered Brexit? Has it actually implemented Brexit? Welcome to the Freeman Report, Roger.
Yeah, hi, James. No, obviously, everybody knows it hasn't. There's something like 4,000 laws that should have been abandoned. They're still there. The government, many say, didn't actually want Brexit. And they went against the will of 17 million people. And they really, you just have to look at the state that the government and the Tory party is in at the moment to see that they really don't seem to care very much what all of us. So they just went ahead and kind of put Brexit on ice.
Yeah, and the thing for me at the time, it didn't have to be this way, but the way that the EU presented the whole thing and said, well, you can either have this or that. It was a case of, as far as I could see, we either stayed in the EU and had our seat at the table with the limited influence I think that would have given us, or we leave and we set our own rules. It always seemed to me that everywhere in between that was no man's land. And that's where I think we are today. What are your thoughts, Roger?
Yeah, I think that's a very interesting observation. As it happens, I was a student in Paris with Jean Monnet at the time he conceived and set up the common market, which became the European Union. I was an absolute, I even subscribed to the Federalist magazine. And I was very pro European Union and common market and all the rest. At the time the debate started around Brexit, I was asked by people in the House of Lords to help the Remain party stronger in Britain. I really found them quite disorganized and ineffective. And then when the events, like you just mentioned there, I didn't like the way the Europeans were reacting to this. And I just found myself drifting into becoming a dyed-in-the-wool Brexiteer, which I still am.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, the way, Roger, that the EU reacts to everything democratic is one of the reasons Ireland was the only country to get a vote. And when it voted no, what did they do? They made them vote again. So
Yeah.
that for me swung the whole argument, I think, along with all of the arguments about, bureaucratic, low, high tax, low growth economy. What do you think the challenges are, though, as a consequence of where we are now? The fact that the government hasn't implemented, and I think you agree, the fact that we're in no man's land.
Yeah, if I could just comment on your last comment, which I thought was very apposite. When I interviewed Gordon Brown some years ago now, before the cameras started rolling, we were talking and he was complaining that he got blamed for the gold and he got blamed for this and he got blamed for that. And I said, yeah, but we were sitting in his inner sanctum at Portcullis House. And I pointed downstairs to the floor and I said, yeah, but for you, everybody down there in the cafeteria below us would be paying for lunch in euros. And thank God we're not using those, because that was also, their monetary policy and the way the euro has operated is nothing beautiful to behold either. So where are we now? Well, I think we're in a state of transition. We've got Sadiq Khan, who's come back for a third term, and there's 70% of Londoners didn't vote, and they've got only themselves to blame. And we're probably going to get Keir Starmer, so it's going to be a whole new ball game. I think monetary and fiscal policy are going to change tremendously, and I think that the doomsayers who say that Starmer and the rest are going to drag us back into the EU in one way or another, they're probably right.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't think that we'll see a full-blown let's rejoin the EU, because
No.
I don't think the British public will be have the appetite to for another referendum, because I think we would, given the fact that we had a referendum to leave, I think we would have to have a referendum to rejoin. And I just don't think the British government, or British public rather, want to go there ever again, never mind in the next decade or so. So, but I think I agree with you. We will see Labour taking us closer to the EU once again.